My son, Zach, who's 3.5, he sees the yard signs and he loves them. He says, those are daddy signs, those are daddy signs. And then we were driving the other day in the truck and he saw one of my signs. We were in a different area. And he goes, Daddy, there's a daddy sign. And I'm like, yeah. And he said, Daddy, are you running for mayor of this street too? And I said, Daddy's running for mayor of the whole city. And he's like, all of the streets? I strive to have a life of service. For me, it's not a motivation about money or about power. It really is about using your energy and your efforts to really leave a positive impact and make a real difference in the lives of others. And I strive to live to that every day. I can remember as a child, she'd get called out in the middle of the night when there was a crime victim who was in need, and she would go and she would sit with the victim. And she'd help facilitate the interview with the police and work with the investigators and the district attorney and the restitution. And so when I wake up in the morning and I think about what I can do today, I really am inspired by that example of my mom. Well, you can't ever take yourself too seriously. These are weighty subjects we deal with. And I'll never forget introducing myself to a guy, and I said, Assemblyman Nathan Fletcher, very nice to meet you. And he said, Assemblyman, and I said, yes, sir. And he said, well, that's great, son. I said, well, thank you, I'm working really hard. And he said, what is it exactly you assemble? She really is that kind of anchor and that rock. And I couldn't do it if I didn't have a supportive spouse who was standing there with me and really committed to what we're trying to do. I am willing to sacrifice to be in public service, but I'm not willing to be away from my family. The desire to come back to a city that I love, a city that welcomed me home from war twice, a city where I bought my first home, where my wife and I got married, a city where both of my boys were born, and really commit myself to partnering with San Diegans to rebuild a great city. That has great appeal to both of us.